and *1.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, by my watch it is 10 o'clock, and I would love to welcome you all to our second Social Media Bootcamp webinar, which is sponsored today by Capital Lighting and our vendor partner, Hubbard & Forge. Capital and Hubbard have been doing business together for many years. They are modern American blacksmiths who make incredible lighting. Hubbard's clean, honest designs celebrate form, materials, and artistry, and we're so pleased to work with them on this great presentation. For those of you who have attended one of our webinars before, you'll know that your phones are on mute, so we can't hear you. But we do like this to be as interactive as possible. So if you would like to ask a question, there is a question box on the dock that should have been set up when you started the webinar, and you just click on question and ask a question in that box, and I may answer you privately. I may answer you your question to the entire to the entire audience, or I may ask the presenter your question if I find the time to be opportune to do that. I also may wait till the end of the presentation to ask those questions, just in case the presentation has a certain flow that I don't want to interrupt. But we will get to all questions, so please make it as interactive as possible. We do want to hear from you. Just a couple of announcements. I know many of you joining us today are registered pros with Capital Lighting and 1-800-Lighting.com. As a pro, you know about all the benefits we offer to the design and trade community, from the industry's best tiered pricing structure to our free online directory, which is called Expert Finder. And details of all these programs and all the presentation materials you'll see today will be emailed to you either today or at the latest tomorrow. And lastly, our mission is to be part of a team to help make the world a brighter place. We strive every day to add value to our pro community and deliver you relevant content and bring you showrooms and a website that is second to none. I invite you to share with me or any member of my team your thoughts or experiences with us. We always love to hear from you, where we exceeded your expectations, maybe where we fell short. We will never stop learning or trying to improve our business. And with that commitment to learning, let's get started with the webinar. Our presenters today are from one of Capital Lighting's marketing partners, On the Ball Marketing. They're a great bunch of people led by the energetic being known as Steve Noodleberg. Steve is OTB's founder and principal thinker. Steve, take it away.
Eric, thank you so much, and I must tell you, you missed your calling because you are really phenomenal at this, and I know your commitment to your business is phenomenal, so thank you. Today especially is important to a group like ours because we focus on the sales process, and in working with many clients around the country, you know, how you sell, who you sell to, what you say, when you say it, all of those important things led right to this tool called LinkedIn. So I'm excited to share some of the insights about LinkedIn. For most of you out there, I'm going to venture to say that you've received many invitations to join LinkedIn. And so generally when we speak to people, they go, yeah, I've gotten lots of requests to join, but I accept and I don't know really what to do with it. So if you're one of those people and you're not sure how to use it, today is going to be really, really exciting because as a business tool and as a sales tool, it is unmatched in terms of the capabilities of what this social network can do. So we'll go through, we'll talk about some statistics, we'll actually get right into the nitty-gritty of how to set it up and then how to use it. And so for any of you who are out trying to grow your business, the last time you were at a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a meeting where there were lots of people that you wanted to connect with, you now have this, you know, beautiful internet tool to do it with. So without further ado, let's jump right in to some of the stats. So today we're going to teach you specifically on how to grow your business. And what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a social media platform that is the business side of social media. So it gives you access to the people, to the jobs, and to the opportunities that are happening in the business world. So what we did last month was talk about Facebook, and where Facebook is really the more fun and personal and social side of social media, this is strictly about business. This is not about pictures. This is not about fancy drawings and, you know, telling people, you know, where you eat and things like that. This is specifically about what I do, who I do it with, who I want to interact with, and it has really, proved to be the largest and most powerful professional networking tool out there. And while the opportunity to network face-to-face has become more difficult, the opportunity to do it in a global basis through LinkedIn has been tremendous. So, here we go, and let's talk specifically about, how we're going to use LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is, as I said, this tremendous social network. There are over 100 million members, and just as a point of reference, that's more than 5 times the population of the state of New York. So if you were to say to me, Steve, I'm going to drop you in New York, and your mission is to meet as many people as you can to grow your business, think of that opportunity to do that in the comfort of your office, the comfort of your home. And so, one of the things that people say to me is, there's so much of this social media stuff, and I'm already so busy. This is the kind of thing that what you put into it, you will get to take out of it. And so just think of the opportunity, to meet and network with all of the people that can affect your business. You have it at your fingertips, so it really doesn't get any easier. So, we're, again, really excited. And I personally use this tool, on a regular basis. So I'm not speaking to you, trying to teach you something that I wouldn't do myself, and have seen the absolute results of how to grow my personal network in terms of who I can call on and when I can call on them. So why do I want to use this? You're talking to yourself, you got up this morning, you signed up for this webinar, and you say, okay, I want to learn more about it, but why do I really want to use it? Certainly you've been in business a little bit of time. You want to reconnect with existing clients. And so, by putting yourselves in this environment and call it, I like to use this analogy, call it this gigantic swimming pool, or call it the world's largest dance. If you don't go to the dance, you can't have a good time. So, got to get in the pool, and by doing, by joining the group, it will allow you to connect with the people that you've already done business with. And for those of you who have been in business, you should know this, that it is much easier to sell through the people who have already drank the Kool-Aid. So this certainly gives you that opportunity to do that. Finding warm sales leads. I have yet to meet anybody who's in the sales environment who says, you know what, Steve, load me up on all the cold calls. That's all I want to do. Warm leads, meaning somebody can introduce you to the opportunity, or you can meet somebody through somebody else you know. Clearly, that's a much better way to do business, and the chances of success go way, way high. And then finally, when we use social media, there are these technical terms where my team that's sitting with me, Alex and Jonathan, they're really up to the technical side of LinkedIn. For those of you who are intimidated by it, I join you in that same fear. I don't need to know how it works. I just want to know how it can work for me. But there are rankings that allow you to search, and by having your LinkedIn profile set up, your business is much more open to the search engines and people finding you, which is really, really clearly important. So that should get you to the why. Then we're going to try and get you real close to the how. So again, one of the things that's important here is to understand the statistics of what's going on in this environment. 76.9% of the users said LinkedIn helped them research people and companies. And we usually try to do some exercise when we're face-to-face with people. We're unable to do that in this environment, but you can clearly, we've done this, I can get to the president of Anheuser-Busch, who I've never met before, and I can get to him in about 3 to 5 strokes. So you've all heard of the term 6 degrees and Kevin Bacon and all like that. That mentality lives solely in all of the numbers that are on this screen. That's the ability that through the people you already know, you're going to be able to get to the people you don't know. So the system works by plugging in the right information, and by you and I connecting, you then have visibility to the people that I know that you may never know to even ask me about. But it's a connectivity of my business, my world, to the outside world, and helps you get 1 or 2 degrees closer to what you want that warm opportunity to look like. So again, when you start using this, the results are so staggering. it's really overwhelming. So let's just do it. Let's just get in. Let's see how we get started. So all of you can go to www.linkedin.com. The site walks you through how to sign up. And the reason why I have Jonathan and Alex here, they've put together some specific slides that will talk to how to do this. So Johnny, I don't know if you want to share some information, you know, on the how-to here.
So right away, if you want to get into LinkedIn, go to linkedin.com like Steve said. And then what you can go ahead and do is up top, you'll see sign in for email and password. Or to join LinkedIn, you put in your first name, last name, email, pick a password, and join now. And they'll walk you through creating the entire process.
So they've made it fairly simple. And one of the great things about this, it's free. So I've had tons of people in my sales career come to me and say, look, we have this great technology and we want to sell it to your firm, and here's what it'll cost per month, and here's what it'll do. This is a free service that allows you to just sign up and get in the game.
So some key elements of the profile really is your profile photo. That's the first thing people are going to see. Next is your headline. It should be basically, you know, your first impression on LinkedIn. Under search, when people are searching for you, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see your name and then who you are. So it should be very descriptive, and you want to make it unique, something that makes you interesting right away. You have your current and past positions, which is very important. It's your quick resume, your education. Down below that is a summary, which is a brief recap of your work and experiences and what makes you unique. So the more you can put into it and the more that makes it relevant, the better it's going to look.
And so this is that opportunity where you really, really want to detailed talk about who you are as a person. That allows you to stand out in this sea of people that are part of this. And when somebody wants to find you, those key words and those key sayings are going to be the things that they're able to drill down and get specifically to you. So I know when you're face-to-face with people and they say, hey, tell me about yourselves, you generally don't have a problem telling them. Put it in writing. This is your spot. Great photo, great first impression, what you do, wherever you come from, because you never know all the way down the line to where you went to school and where you've interacted, who's going to be able to connect with you. And I have specific stories of people who have connected with me through LinkedIn from as far back as elementary school and have actually created real sales opportunity. They would have never had any other chance to find me.
And so below that is experience, and this is where you get more detail. You can talk about, you know, you list all of your past positions and all of your current positions, and do brief summaries and descriptions of some of your duties, projects. If you worked on some really cool environmental designs or some really cool spaces, you can put that in there. Below that, more skills and expertise. In the skills and expertise section, you'll put in different keywords that you're interested in. And then underneath that, you have recommendations, which is testimonials of your work. So it'd be great if you went out and talked to your clients or on LinkedIn and say, hey, can you write a recommendation for me on my profile? And just validates all the work you've done.
Now let's talk about that specifically. So if one of your testimonials puts their information into the, where all the people in their universe then get to see your recommendation, them recommending you, so you are marketing through the people you've already done business to all the people that they do business with. So the power of the numbers, the viral nature of what we're talking here is overwhelming. You cannot quantify it in one conversation. So that's where the detail and spending a certain amount of time each day updating and keeping this fresh is really, really important.
Steve, Audrey in New Jersey is asking, how many recommendations do you need, and does it need to only be from your current position?
That's a great question, Audrey. You generally want to use somewhere between 3 and 5. The people who go and try and bombard their profile with every little reference and every little recommendation, it's not believable. So, pick and choose carefully. Get 3 of the top opportunities that you've done that you're proud of. Add it occasionally, and it does not have to be specific to one area of service or one business, because I think one of the things that people look for is continuity. You know, if you've been in different places and you've been successful where you go, that's a telling part of someone's career.
And if someone gives you a recommendation you don't like, you don't have to put it on there. You could have 50 people write a recommendation and choose 5 of them that you want to put on.
And so it's not like a review on you know, you can't get a bad review. You can't get a bad recommendation because you're controlling them completely.
You know, that's a great point, Eric. The power of this, you're always in control. You're in control of what you post and put up there, and you're controlling what other people, can add to the mix. So that's where, there has to be some what they call social responsibility. If this is a powerful business tool, with that power comes responsibility. You need to pay attention.
And our Makeover person, Marcia Koch, actually just asked me a question. Can the recommendations only come from other people in LinkedIn, or can they come from outside the sphere?
Only people within LinkedIn can do a recommendation. And you actually do not write them yourself. People submit them to you through LinkedIn, and then you approve them.
And it has to be written in. Another one of our attendees, Deborah French, just asked if they have a PDF, like if they got a recommendation letter, can they put that in there as an image of a recommendation? I don't believe you can. I think it has to be typed in. But you answer that. You're the experts.
No, it has to be typed in, and it has to be from someone within LinkedIn.
Okay, so you can't put up a an image or a PDF or a Word doc of a recommendation letter. It has to be input through the LinkedIn recommendation system. Okay, great.
Again, that's one of the things about LinkedIn that makes it so powerful. It's very genuine. People are not hiding behind graphics and pretty pictures. It's very real and it's very genuine because it comes from the source. So this is forcing people to physically write their thoughts and then move from there.
And to that point, if someone asks you to make a recommendation, it's not something you should take lightly, because they're going to see who you recommended, and it just will show what kind of person you are if you recommended somebody you didn't feel so strongly about. So only recommend somebody you feel like you're comfortable doing that.
And we'll speak to that more as we go forward. That's one of the irresponsible things about when people want to invite you in. If you don't know them, and again, we'll talk about this later, if this is not hey, I want everybody in the world to be part of my LinkedIn profile, I want only the people that I know and that I can recommend to somebody else. Because there's this art form called phishing, which we're going to talk about, which is the art of actually going in and finding new business. If I go on to Marcia's LinkedIn profile and I see the people that she's agreed to link in with, and then I say to her, I'd send her a note, hey, I want to meet that person. She comes back and says to me, I don't really know that person. The system fails. So it's sort of a responsibility on each of us to say the people that I'm connected with, I really know and I'm willing to share with you.
To that point, Steve, then people that have sort of opened up their LinkedIn and looked at it like a Facebook and connected with individuals they are not particularly knowledgeable about, what do you recommend them to do to clean up their connections? Would they disconnect or try to get to know them better?
They actually have to find a new identity from the Witness Protection Program. Only just a little bit of humor.
No, ideally you could either disconnect from them if you have no connection at all, but since you're already connected with them, you can message them. I would go ahead and send them an in-mail, which is free no matter what level account you have. Send them an in-mail saying, hey, we're connected on LinkedIn. I'd like you to know you in real life.
Yeah, that's
phone call,
a great
or coffee, etc.
That sounds like the best idea. They're in your network rather than unconnecting. Make them part of your network.
Well, again, if you remember the basis of this, it is a social network. When I get invitations from people that I don't know, I email them right back and say, can you please remind me how we know each other? If they say they don't, then I basically engage them, well, why did you think it was worthwhile? And so, you can make a lot of new friends. So you are, again, at control. If you just hit accept and let them in, it's a waste of effort. This is all about the people in your network, and so it's almost like your own personal inventory, and you got to know what kind of inventory you have.
Yeah. Great input to hey, if they're trying to connect with you, start the conversation. They said hello. See if it's worth putting them in your network. Make them tell them about yourself. Perfect. Great.
Yeah, specifically, I've had people, when they've done that, and I've said, hey, how do I know you? Hey, I don't really know you, but I met you, or I know someone that knows you, and I'm interested in this, and it starts relevant dialogue, which is all, as when we're in the sales game, that's all you really want, is to have something of meaningful substance to talk to people about.
Great.
So other elements of the profile is additional information, which you can put in there, your website, your Twitter handle if you're on Twitter. You can put in your interests, and interests are really important because it gives people common ground. And it shouldn't necessarily be about business. This is the one area of LinkedIn where you can make it personal and have personal interests, what you're into. As well as you have groups, associations that you belong to on LinkedIn. This is only for groups, and they're on LinkedIn, and most groups in real life, whether it's the Rotary Club or designers groups, they're on LinkedIn. So you can look them up in the search and then add them to this and participate in those groups. And then finally, which is arguably the most important part of your profile, is the content information. How are people going to contact you on LinkedIn? I mean, they can do it through LinkedIn Mail, but I strongly recommend putting a telephone number in so they can pick up the phone right away and give you a call. You can also put in your address. If you have an actual office, I'd put your office in. If you have your home, I would be weary as far as putting your home address on your LinkedIn profile.
Again, so, this is not difficult. It's paying attention to the details, and having a complete profile is the most important thing that you can control. It's your People magazine. You write the story. Put it out there. Put it out there in a relevant way. So it allows for the search ranking, as we talked about, and it actually allows potential clients who should want to hire you what you can do for them. And as a standard practice now, what I do when I have a set meeting, or I know I'm going to something and I know the people that are going to be at the event, I go searching their profiles before I meet with them, much more educated. I kind of get a sense of who they are. So, that level of detail allows me to engage people one-to-one in a different way. So, again, it's your tool, the personal library that people are putting their information out there, and it makes you much, much more effective when you know what people are about. So so we're talking about the basics.
I got a question, Steve, question saying, can anybody see your complete profile, or are there settings like there is in Facebook? That's the question.
Anyone can see it, whether or not they're on. Well, you can. There's a setting so you can do it. So if they have to be on LinkedIn. But otherwise, there's also a setting so if they're not on LinkedIn, they can see a limited amount. But I recommend making it open to everyone. So if they're not on LinkedIn and they're searching for you on Google, they see your entire profile.
And that's one of the things that by having the profile, if it does get to Google and someone's trying to find you, if you're in business and you're not willing to have people find you, find another business.
Very good. Yep.
So we've beat this up, connecting with existing clients. It grows your warm database because the people who have already done business with you, their people are the people that they know are monitoring and looking for. So you can go on there and say, wow, do you know a good designer? Wow, I didn't realize you were working with them, or you know them, or you're related to them. One of the things that's really key is that we tend to have address books all over the place. You want to upload your address book to LinkedIn. It will download all your information, or upload, if you will, and that way, all at once, you'll be able to send out requests to all of the people that you know in your address book. Johnny, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, it's
okay.
Perfect. So to upload your address book, all you have to do is hover your mouse over Contacts, and then do Add Connections. And then from here, you'll see this box where if you have Yahoo or Google or Hotmail and a variety of other web email clients, you can just put in your email address and your password, click continue, it'll automatically inject your database in there. If you use Outlook, underneath that you'll see import your desktop client, your desktop contacts, and it'll walk you through that process. Or if you have a huge list of email addresses, you can just input them into LinkedIn.
Any other questions on that, Eric? Is anybody?
Nope, nobody asked a question on that. And if you input your entire, say, all your Outlook contacts, but there may be people you don't want to connect that you have a contact with, do you still have the opportunity to only connect with those that you want to, or is it going to try to connect it with everybody?
It'll show you a list of everyone it found who's on LinkedIn.
It will give you a list, and then and great. And again, somebody just asked, is it possible to unlink with people on LinkedIn? And I think we did mention that you can unconnect.
Yes, you can.
Correct.
Underneath contacts, there's an option to disconnect.
I'm not sure that they use the word unlink, but we can try and trademark that. I like that.
And as far as connecting, say you have a competitor, you're in a competitive business, and one of your competitors is in your contact list. Would you recommend connecting with a competitor?
I recommend connecting with a competitor because you never know where it can lead to, and it's you have to be friendly in that space. And connect with the competitor allows you to see also what they're up to.
But it also lets them see what you're up to. But I guess
which, if they wanted to find out, they would. One of the business philosophies we have is we worry about what we do well, not what other people do at all, whether they do it well or not. We're totally focused in teaching people you only have X amount of things that you can pay attention to, so be the best you can be, and that's getting involved in all of this business networking. If part of that means that you're connecting to other business professionals in the same space, so be it.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. So again, now I've set up my profile. I've sort of loaded my database in, and then I'm saying, okay, you know what? I want to go find people that I might know who are already on LinkedIn. One of the things about the algorithms and the technology of this is it will constantly recommend to you people that you might know, and that's where paying attention to this on a daily basis is important. But if you wanted to get proactive about it, John, you want to jump in?
Yep. So it's really easy from that contact section. You just click on people you may know, and then you'll see a huge list of people that you could know, and the ones you do know, simply click connect, and then you have a few options there as far as how you want to connect to them. Select how you want to connect to them and why you want to connect to them, and you're good.
Again, this is the part, just very similar to if you decide to do any regimen like a diet or exercise. You need to do it every day. This is where you want to be focusing your energy on, wow, look at that, I forgot that person. I met them 5 years ago. I want to connect with them because I want to see what they're up to. I want to see all the people that they're involved with, and I want them to see what I'm up to. So again, this is a very, very one-to-one opportunity to market with people that you already know, that if you wanted to do that in the past, you wouldn't even remember who they were. So it constantly on a daily basis tees you up with people you know, and you have the option to connect with them or not. And I make it a part of every single morning, just like I brush my teeth. I get up in the morning and I try and connect with a couple of different people just to stir the pot, because you never know where it comes from.
Like Steve said before, you only want to connect with people that you actually know, and the idea behind that is that it's going to filter this people you may know results, as well as when you're actually fishing for clients, you're not going to get false leads.
So you've loaded up. We've gotten you to a place where this should all be working. And now we're going to go one step more that's a little bit more advanced. We're going to try and find new business. And so finding new business leads, which should be the lifeblood of every single business, there's no better tool than LinkedIn. And they give you this opportunity to, on the far right of the top, it says advanced. And I do this, again, also on a pretty regular basis. I want to know who I know in Tampa that has these specific qualifications, and the good information in gives me good information out. So if you were to see the slide in front of you, John, you want to speak to all of the information that you can document that will give you the information you want?
So you can look for them by first or last name, but if we're fishing for leads, we don't know the first and last name. So you can target them by company, or you can narrow it down to industry or seniority level. You can geolocate, which means that you can put in, I only want to find people within South Florida or New Jersey or Tampa, wherever it is you're targeting. And then, really important, is first or second connections. First connections is someone that you're actually connected with on LinkedIn. Second, it means that you're 1 degree away. So you can pick up the phone and call someone. They can put you in touch with that person. So you want to use first and second connections to start with. Then once you actually did a search for it, you see a search result. So you can filter down even more on the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side, you see all of the results. So we're going to go and connect with Bruce Hathaway from Hubbard & Forge. He's a national residential sales manager. And so you see his profile, you see everything that he's doing, his entire summary. You see how we're connected with him on the right-hand side. And then on the very top, you can either connect with him if you know him, or if you don't know him, you get introduced through a connection.
That doesn't get any clearer than get introduced through a connection. Boom, I can hit that, and it will find a way for somebody that I already know to tee up that introduction, which is, I can't imagine anything more powerful. Any of you who have tried to meet somebody, you can try and reach them on your own, or generally speaking, if somebody else opens up the door for you, and you know, Johnny said that you could call them on the phone. I think the beauty of all this is that it's done online. You don't ever have to pick up the phone to do it, so you're not intruding on somebody. So somebody you know is going to receive an email that says, hey, how you doing? I hope all is well. I'm trying to meet Mr. So-and-so. Could you make that connection for me? And I know on a regular basis that happens to me, and of course I'm more than willing to click 2 buttons and make that introduction and say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, you should meet Mrs. So-and-so. They're really good at what they do. So again, it's very self-explanatory. It's very simple. It's very difficult to get stuck. If you spend the time doing it, the results are there almost instantaneously, which there's no other business or networking tool that I think has these kind of results this immediate. So I think what we're going to do now is we've provided somebody that's part of the webinar, Marcia. We've done a LinkedIn profile makeover for her, and we're going to share the results. So that is not Marcia, as we know.
That is definitely not Marcia.
This is Marcia's profile before. As you can see, that she doesn't really have, anything up there as far as current working. Or yes, she's current working where she currently works, but she doesn't have past employment experiences. Her summary is very limited. There isn't quite as much information on there like we'd like. So here's the after. We added that she worked for Eclectic Home Interiors. We beefed up her summary. We put it in her educational experience. Talked a little bit more about what she did, what she does at Picture Pretty Interiors. And then down here, put in more about her education. Put in our company website, the blog. She now has her interests of what she's into. She has some groups and associations that she's a part of. And she also, just really beefed it up more. And as you can see, the more you put into this, the better your profile looks. And the other advantage of putting more into your profile is you're going to rank higher in the searches, both on Google and on LinkedIn. So if someone is searching for an interior designer, she's going to come up quicker because she has more of that data in there. Or if they search for something obscure within her profile that she talked about in it, you're going to see that as well.
There may be something special that you either like or focus on or is your specialty, and this is your opportunity to have it shine in a way that, hey, look, somebody gave me the microphone. I got the opportunity to speak about it. Shame on us if we don't. This is the place to do that. So, when you put all of these ingredients together, you're already at the dance. If you don't get out on the dance floor, you don't win. So when they say here you must engage with others, there's going to be others who are speaking about stuff. They join groups. They make posts about what's happening. Hey, I just won the biggest piece of business. Hey, I connected with this other person. Whatever they're posting about, you're entitled, or you should pay attention to what they're saying and then engage with them, because people are watching that engagement. So for me specifically, I monitor it to see who they're connecting with, and I go, wow, I know that person, but I haven't engaged with them. Boom, and I can click of a button and just say, hey, I didn't know you knew those people, or relevant things about the business, trends, things that are coming up, specials. This is your opportunity to talk about it in an ongoing basis. So if you talk about it on September 1st and you don't come back until the end of September, right, you're not relevant, and you need to be engaged, need to be relevant. So again, where I've heard people say, I'm so busy I don't have the time. This is a discipline. 15 minutes a day. Shouldn't be, anything more than 15 to 20 minutes unless you want to. And for me, one of the things I love about why they call it social media, it's fun. This engagement part is so great. And again, we're firm believers that at the end of the day, people buy people. This is your chance. So,
Steve,
yes.
Ann is asking, how often do you make a post, and do you use it sort of like Facebook, and do you respond to other people's posts?
Okay, so for me, many, many years ago, I started to post a motivational quote, some thought that I have very early in the morning. I used it as a tool for my own company and then some of our clients, and it just sort of caught on. Eric, you and your team receive my quote every morning. My quote I put onto LinkedIn, and so I'm there every single day posting. I'm there every single day reading and commenting, so it's a very consistent effort. One of the things is I'm very knowledgeable about what's going on in the universe. I see what other people are saying. I've joined groups. So the question is, how often? I think moderation is good. I think people who post every minute of every day are annoying to everybody. So, relevant, timely, and use some common sense. Just be visible.
Yeah, and the thing about LinkedIn, LinkedIn's a business network. It's not Facebook. It's not really, for your kids. It's not personal. So for LinkedIn, feel free to share stuff that's going on within your business world.
And where do you share that? Marcia's asking, do you recommend just putting that right on your profile, on your status?
Well, we're going to show you how, actually.
Great.
When you go to,
what a great tee-up.
Yep.
When you go to the home page, you'll see right away, first thing, share an update. So you can post an update, or if you have a great article that you want to share, click attach link. So we're going to put in this article about a Hubbard & Forge, piece of light fixture. I want to say I would love to have this Hubbard & Forge chandelier in my living room or family room. Then right away you can share it. And so you're sharing stuff, but just like on Facebook, you can comment on stuff that other people share. So you can like it if you want to, or you can comment on what other people are sharing, and people will comment and share on what you're sharing as well.
So again, it's this whole mentality of paying attention. If you do a great profile and do all of the things with adding your database and everything like that, and then never go back to it, you're not really in the game. Now, if you happen to miss a day, nothing bad is going to happen. It's just a matter of paying attention to say, hey, nobody's minding the store. So, if you were to see, you'll follow other people who are very visible. They're getting the job done, and it's just a matter of how committed to it you are.
Great.
And I try and post things that are not selling on the ball, the name of my company. They're just relevant to the business world. Things that are stories that I've read in Inc. magazine about being an entrepreneur, things that I've read about social media, things that I've read about upcoming trends, because I want to be interesting to other people. I don't want to look like I'm trying to sell them what I'm doing. And so one of the things we talked about last month, and we're going to talk about it here again, is you're building trust. So people who are connected to me, they go, wow, I enjoyed reading that. Here was the best book, business book. Here's an event that's going on that you might want to know about. So try not to make it all about yourself, just about what's relevant to the world. So we'll sort of get close to finishing up here with what are the key tips to grow your business, and that's the reason why we want to do all this. It's important to have a complete profile. We've said it, a half a dozen times throughout the hour we've been together. It is a must. It's easy to reconnect with old clients, and as a marketing firm, we try and teach people, that's the one place where people spend a lot of their time trying to go find a new customer without paying attention to the people who have already drank the Kool-Aid. And, so we're big, big believers in connect with the people who have already done business with you and engage them to become salespeople for you. We call it fishing. We deal with small and large organizations. You got to go fishing often. And the information's there. It's sometimes startling how obvious it is. So, put your, get in the game and fish. Post on a daily basis. And just like you're taking vitamins, just like you're brushing your teeth, post on a daily basis. And you'll be surprised once you do it. It's really, it's sort of fun to do. And then last and finally, just comment on other things that you see. Your opinion matters. There's a reason why you have a different DNA than everybody else. This gives you a chance to post. Now, having said that, you try not to be too political or too religious. This is business, so you keep things in a business environment, you'll be safe. So, the fact that people are intimidated by this business tool is okay. Be a little safe. Be on the safe side. When in doubt, delete. And with that brings to a close our informational side of LinkedIn. We are certainly happy to answer more questions. We love to,
I got some questions here, Steve, and great presentation. The majority of people on the call are interior designers, and Deborah French is saying, asking, she's looking for clients in particular, and her clients, I guess, if it's on the commercial side, you should be looking for trying to connect with builders and architects or other. But what would you recommend for our designers? Who should they be fishing for in particular?
Well, it's certainly to have some focus is a good idea. So in any sales training that we do, you can throw out a broad net, and that's fine, but to have some focus about who you want to connect with. So there are certainly areas of opportunity. Builders is a good one, plumbers, electricians, landscapers, people who are in and around the home is usually, or that would be residential, or people who are in and around businesses. The nice part about being part of LinkedIn is that when people are moving or looking to change or, any of that information is usually very visible. So by being timely and paying attention. So, there's two strategies. One is broad. I'm going to be out there so that people can see me. The other side is I'm going to pay attention to, I want to talk to builders in these 3 zip codes who are doing upscale homes. I mean, so that's where some of the filters help you define what that audience looks like. And then once you know what the audience looks like, you can look and see who they know who can introduce you. And that's where the stuff gets fun, because you're spending a couple of, those extra steps and saying, okay, I've defined my audience as these 25 opportunities. Now I've gone a layer deeper within those opportunities, and I see who that's been part of my network knows them, send them an email, and wow, the connectivity level is very, very high.
And the groups that they should be, I mean, they could join groups too and be an active participant in groups, similar to some of the groups on Facebook. But if you're going to join a builders group in Palm Beach County, for instance, or in New Jersey, the idea there is to join those groups with relevant people to you and then be an active participant. That's really the key, right?
So that there's, those key themes that keep coming back: complete profile, engage, and do it on a daily basis. So, it's not difficult. For those of you who are not actively doing it, I can tell you that 2 years ago, I was not an active participant and took the same training as we're giving you. And I think by most people's standards, they would say that I'm fairly proficient at it because the results are intoxicating. It's just fun.
Steve, I got a few people asking about searching. Could you go back a few slides where Johnny was talking about those filters and searching?
Absolutely.
And just possibly just go over that one more time for people to hammer that home. Yes, deep, 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 deep. Yeah, I think it was that one. So this is the search page, and you got to there by hitting that Advanced tab up in the upper right-hand corner, and it's here where you would be able to put in the occupations, the locations. You can actually put in a zip code and ask for a 10-mile radius, a 20-mile radius, and just keep plugging away at this page till if you get 300 responses. Okay, you're probably not going to want to reach out to 300 people today, but get it down to 5 or 6 and make that your 15-minute task of the morning.
And then once you put all the data in, there's a way to even get that and refine even more. On the left-hand side,
you're a little quiet, Johnny. If you could get closer to the mic.
So once you actually put all the data in, on the left-hand side, you can refine it even more. So to start with, let's say that you do have 300 results. Go ahead on the left-hand side and narrow it down more and more till you have 13 results, or
right.
10, 20 results.
All right,
So
great.
Keep going back and forth.
Terrific. Yeah, there were a lot of questions about the searching, and I think you hit on a tremendous amount of information here, Steve and Johnny, and I think we all learned something this morning. If you missed the first couple of minutes of the presentation, this is being recorded and it will be being uploaded to our video gallery on 1-800-lighting.com as well as to our YouTube channel. And I'll be sending out that link either today or tomorrow with some follow-up information about 1-800-Lighting Pro and also about Capital Lighting and Hubbard and Forge. Closing remarks, thank you, OTB team, for the terrific presentation. Thank you to Hubbard and Forge for being a terrific sponsor of tonight and being a great vendor partner of ours. A last announcement that if you are up in the New Jersey area or are going to be at the beginning of October, we will be having an 88th birthday bash. Capital Lighting was founded in 1924, and we're going to be turning our showroom there, which is going through a major renovation right now. We're turning it into a 1920s speakeasy to celebrate our founding in 1924. We're going to have a tremendous amount of presenters there, Hubbard and Forge being one of them, and we're thrilled that they're going to be there. I think they're actually going to have some real Vermont maple syrup as one of the giveaways. We appreciate that, Bruce. And it's just going to be a great time if you happen to be up in that area on October 4th. You'll be getting invitations. And I just want to thank everybody. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Hubbard and Forge. Have a great rest of your day. Any questions, you can always reply to me when I send you that email, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find it out for you. Great webinar. Really appreciate it. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. Take good care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Steve.